Hello, Jordan. I want to thank you for sharing in your post this morning. I like that in your video you brought up the topic of passing, where in my response to Shoebean's clip last night, I brought up, I talked about how in America society is organized in this very hierarchical fashion where cisgendered heterosexual white men are treated as the standard of society and everybody else is measured in comparison to them. And this is true even of a topic like passing, where you cannot even be white, but you will still, if you're not treated exactly as a white person would be, then you're nevertheless treated more closely to how a white person would be than somebody who is visibly part of a minority group. How does our experience compare or differ? Well, they compare at face value, just in the sense that I'm a white person and you're somebody who passes as a white person, and we both notice the ways in which members of a society treat us differently compared to the people around us, and we notice how that visual presentation of a person informs the ways in which people view one another. But I don't know if I can answer this question fully when it comes to the topic of how they differ, because there's something I'd be really curious to learn about your experience, and that actually leads me to my main question for you in response, where when you're speaking with somebody who believes that you are white and you inform them of the fact that you are not white, does their treatment of you differ in any way upon gaining that knowledge about you? Do they start treating you in a more similar way as they would members of a different as they would members of your ethnicity, or do they continue to treat you in the same ways they have been, or do they end up kind of being almost like awkward about it, where they don't really treat you as white and they don't really treat you as a one of those, as a member of whatever group that they would otherwise be interacting with, or that you've seen them interacting with, or like how does their behavior around you differ upon learning that knowledge? It makes me curious about whether or not those stereotypes and those kinds of bigotries are rooted in visual, rooted in visual information, where like they look at somebody and that kind of informs the ways that they start making assumptions about them, or if they're more emphasized in like their understanding of cultural backgrounds that a person might have. And of course it's probably a little bit of both, but I'm wondering, I'd wonder to which degree, which one has more pull on those people. I think not only your answer to this question would make a discussion between us about how our lives are different much richer, but I also think that it would just open up a lot of discussion in general about the nature of bigotry. I think it would open up a discussion around like how are multiracial people affected in society. In what ways, what aspects of a person's identity, or is the country culturally going to choose to kind of focus on, or will people subconsciously or even consciously kind of notice about somebody first thing? How might their beliefs about somebody, and how might their beliefs about race in general change upon learning that they were incorrect in whatever assumptions that they were making about a person? I just think there's a lot of interesting discussion that could be had around that topic based on whatever a person's answer would be to it. So yeah, thank you for sharing again in your post. Thank you, and thank you for listening. Hope you have a good rest of your night, and I'll see you in the next discussion board.